Hello, Travis.
Hello.
My name is Jasmine, and I'm from Fangirlish. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you here, especially because I know like it's the holiday season, so it's kind of hard to, get together and do things. First off, how are
Absolutely.
you how are you even spending Christmas? Like are what's the weather like right now in Australia?
Well, weather's really, really hot. So 30 degrees today, Celsius. So you're looking at 60, 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Uh-huh.
So warm and it's really humid here. So it's like 80% humid. So kind of on the hot days, it just feels like a bit of a swamp, like Miami weather. But basically, me and the fam are just having a low-key Christmas. My little one, he just turned 1, so he doesn't quite understand Christmas just yet. But yeah, he's getting into everything.
Yeah.
He's figuring.
But yeah, that's the best way to spend it, low key, just a quiet one. And it's actually hot here. I'm in California, and it's
Yeah,
actually really, really warm here today. I'm wearing a sweater right now, and I'm like, why am I wearing a sweater? I had to turn
you
the
got the
AC on in
AC
my
on. That's
car.
why.
Yes. But first of all, congratulations on the movie. It
Thank
was
you.
amazing. I loved it.
Yeah,
I hadn't read the book Lick by, before, so I didn't know what to expect going into the movie, but
yeah.
it was so cute. Like I had warm fuzzies the entire time I was watching it, and I loved you as David, obviously.
Oh,
And
thank you.
but of course I've seen you in other things too. Like I actually just
Yeah.
watched you on the Lifetime movie, what was it? I think Trapped in the Cabin or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, trapped in the cabin. Yeah, very
Yeah.
different role.
Yes, very, very
Very
different.
different
Yeah.
role. But
So
that was fun. I was a bit nervous, obviously playing David because in the book, did you say you read the book? You didn't read the book.
no, I haven't, but I want to now. I have not
So
read the book yet, but I want to.
in the book, it's described that he's got very long hair.
Oh,
And
okay.
then obviously though, when they were casting for it, there was another guy that had long hair that was a bit of a better fit visually.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, he had another role that he had to commit to, and that put me on the role. And I was a bit nervous to hear back from all the fans, I guess, of the book and Kylie Scott and everyone of like my appearance compared to the book. So, but it's been received well, which I'm very, glad about.
Yeah, that can be a tricky thing because when you find a character that you love in a book, I know that it's a little bit daunting for an actor to take on a role for something like that, where you're like, I don't know how the fans are gonna, receive me, but I think you nailed it. I mean, obviously, like I
I
said,
think,
I don't have a real say, I guess you could say, because I haven't read the book yet, but I think you did great.
thank you. I mean, the movie's a little bit more a tame version of the book. The book
Mhm.
gets very saucy and very like uh, juicy, I guess. So we have toned it back a bit, which I'm kind of thankful for.
Mhm.
But you have all the kind of intimate moments and the great moments and the concert scene, especially. That was just a tiny little bit in the book, but Louise, the director, wanted to make this big because we didn't really have any like we're rock stars, but we don't have any big scenes of playing a concert. So she's like, let's just shoot this. And I remember shooting. It's my favorite scene of the whole movie. We shot it, and then Joe, who plays Mel, he was on the drums.
Mhm.
Just came in. We started. He started playing. We're just like turning around, looking at him, like, where did you learn this? He never played the drums. None of us have played an instrument. So just we all turn around, we're like, what on earth happened to you? And he's just going into this like rock star moment, and it was brilliant. It was actually really brilliant.
So what was it about this character that like made you want to sign on for the project? Like what made you say like I want to play this character? Like or did you audition originally for a different character in the film?
No, so Louise actually reached out to my management because she previously worked with me on Neighbours, which is an
Okay.
Australian soap, been going for like 38 years or something like that. And we worked together on that, and she knew Brooke as well, and she reached out to our management and like, I want these two as the lead. And I guess she fought for us, and then they were a bit unsure on me because of my appearance. But ended out that it came back to me anyway. The challenging bits that kind of stood out for me for this character, I dropped a lot of weight for it
Mhm.
because, as described in the book, like he was a very toned, fit guy, and I think I dropped about 18 pounds. kind of just like cut myself down. And instruments, never played an instrument, so I wanted to learn how to do that. On top of everything, you got the accent and the chemistry as well, which was really, really fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too about like what kind of training you guys do to try to make it look like you were actually playing the instruments because you said that, the one who plays Mal, like he was actually like, doing some of the stuff like, having fun on the drums. So what is that like to go through the process of trying to make it where you can create the illusion that you're playing the guitar for the camera?
Yeah, so basically, I was just taught the basics.
Hmm.
We had an amazing music producer there, and he sent me a bunch of like he would record himself doing kind of just like
Okay.
the main things, not nothing too like hard. So therefore, when I had time, he would drop off guitars, and I'd sit in the hotel room and just try and get the basics down. And that way, you just, I guess, use your body and everything and moving around, so you can't precisely see. I'm sure there's lots of people that know how to play a guitar that watch it and be like, "Oh God, dude, you are horrible."
Like why
one of
are
my
you
one of my
doing that?
friends, yeah, one of my friends plays guitar. He goes, yeah, for the unknown guitarist, yeah, you can get away with it, but yeah, it's not the best. But look, I had 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks to kind of like learn a guitar, or just the basics of it. So I feel like I did pretty well, and just kind of through the verse, the chorus, then the verses, and back to the chorus, just learning where your hand placement is and learning how fast to kind of strum. And that was kind of like the challenge. And then I guess you have the solo of roughly where it's going to be down here, up there. Kind of, you want to be in the ballpark because you don't want to be playing like deep notes when it's actually high pitched notes down here.
Hmm.
So yeah, he taught me how to kind of be in the range of what we're hearing. And I had to do some singing, which was kind of very interesting for me,
Yeah,
which
I was
I
gonna
feel like
ask
I'm
you. I was
definitely
gonna
not a
ask
singer.
if that was you singing. I was gonna say, is
It,
that you singing?
in the bed,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't.
Okay.
I think they chose to go with another option, which is, they've got right away for it, so it is what it is. So me hearing it back, I'm like, hang on a minute, that's not my voice. That kind of sounds weird. But and all the original tracks as well, like insane. Like he sent them to me basically when I got booked, and I started listening to them to familiarize with myself. And I was listening to them in the hotel and around people. It's like, dude, what are these tracks? I'm like, oh, they're just like random tracks that I'm listening to because I wasn't allowed to say that they were for the movie kind of thing. So that helped me. That helped me a lot to get into character as well, listening to my own tracks or David's tracks, I guess,
Mhm.
to get in there.
I love that. Okay, and
Yeah.
so my next question for you is, I don't know if you felt the same way, but when I was watching the movie and I was watching the moments between David and Brooke when they're in Monterey and they're having like this nice, like basically like a honeymoon of sorts, and there's like a calmness to them because there's like they're away from the chaos of Los Angeles, but when
Yeah.
they come back to LA, like you can feel the shift of them getting back to reality and everything feels fast paced. So that's like
Tense.
one of
Yeah.
like that's actually one of my favorite parts of the film because I actually felt that. Like I felt like everything's
Oh yeah.
changed like since they've got back. So did you
Yeah.
yourself like feel that difference when you were like having the scenes when you guys were in Monterey versus when you guys got back to, Los Angeles?
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously we shot everything in Atlanta.
Hmm.
So it's not like we're going back to LA to shoot those
Yeah.
particular scenes. So it's like we're in the same environment. But the Monterey house was beautiful, and we definitely felt a sense of calm, and it was a pivotal moment for our characters and for the storyline at Monterey. So I feel like we really dug deep into that and really immersed ourselves into that kind of situation. And then I think it's. Are you talking about the scene after the concert? That like,
I'm talking about when you guys get back, like after you've already spent the
yeah,
weekend together in Monterey before you
yeah,
decide
yeah, yeah.
when David has to go back to Los Angeles, when he says, I have to
Yeah,
go back to
that was.
LA. Yeah.
Yeah, they went to shoot this one long tracking shot that they ended up breaking it all up. And it goes from like us finishing the concert into a conversation, into another conversation, into the brothers' conversation, then me kissing my assistant, and then us fighting, and then
Wow.
Eric passing out and stuff like that. And they all shot that in one big long take, and it kind of was amazing. But they ended up like cross shooting and doing that. So intensifying that, definitely, yeah, yeah. We tried to add a little bit of that to the spice.
That's really cool. Okay,
Yeah,
and then my last question for you is because I know you said that you read that I'm assuming that you read the book because you seem like you know a
yeah.
lot about it. Okay, did you connect with Kylie at all about anything that you wanted some more backstory on for David, or did you feel like the book was a good like help for you?
We didn't have, I mean, I can't speak for Brooke, but I didn't have any communication with Kylie. Um, I didn't think to, I guess, reach out to her, but the book, I mean, she wrote it a few years ago, and we basically used the book as our Bible. And I remember many scenes. Me and Brooke would sit there. It's like, hey, let's go back to this scene. And before like a big pivotal scene, would read the scene together and then kind of communicate together whether like, oh, this is missing or we're shooting this, but it's not even mentioned in the book. And we really wanted to stay obviously as true to the book as possible. So we'd always go back to the book to reference, oh, maybe this might be a good thing to kind of like think about or add within the scene to try and bring us back to the book because obviously the book came out many years ago and the fan base is the book, right? So we're trying to be as true to the book as we can, physically can, because to shoot a whole book, you probably watch like a 5 hour movie, which obviously we can't do.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember just going back. We used to sit there in our rooms and like just digest the scene. Oh, sorry, the book scene, and be like, okay, what can we add like little nuances from the book into the scene? And yeah, it was quite good that way.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Travis, for your
of
time
course.
and congratulations
Yeah,
once again on Lick. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank you for your time.
you as well. Merry Christmas.